Hello guys, and welcome back to another virtual cockpit simulations video. My name is Leo, and today I will be showing you how to start the default Cessna 172 for X-Plane 11 from a cold and dark state. We're situated in Edinburgh Airport in Scotland, and we will take off on the runway, fly a quick traffic pattern, and then we will land, taxi back to a gate, and then bring the aircraft back to a cold and dark state once again. Okay guys, welcome to the cockpit of this Cessna 172. As you can see, the aircraft is completely cold and dark. Everything is off, you can't hear any sounds, everything is as it should be in a cold and dark state. So first what we want to do is we'll just verify that our fuel selector is set to both. If it was set to right, for example, then it would only draw fuel from the right hand fuel tank, and if it was set to left, then it would only draw fuel from the left hand fuel tank. And so we want that to be on both, so it draws an equal amount of fuel from both. Next we want to verify our fuel shut-off valve is in. Avionics power is off. You can see bus 1 and bus 2 are in the off position. If they were to be like that, they'd be on, but we want them to be off for now. We can turn on our master switches, and you can hear things start to turn on, gyros and magnetos and things. What we want to do now is we want to lower full flaps, just to verify that the flaps are working, and you can see the flaps have extended on the left wing and also on the right wing as well, and so they are fine. We'll leave those down until we start the engines. Next what we'll do is we can turn on all of our lights. We want to verify they're working, and we can also turn on the pitot heat. So we can go to an outside view, and it looks like all of our lights are working. You can see the beacon light on the tail, strobe lights on the wings. All the lights appear to be working absolutely fine. And so we can turn those off now. But we'll leave the pitot heat on because we need that. We can turn the beacon on. We can turn the beacon light on once again, and what we'll do is we will turn on the fuel pump now, and we can increase the mixture. And in the real aircraft you'd see the fuel flow start to increase, but that's not modelled in this aircraft, or at least it's not modelled when you increase the mixture to full rich before engine start. So we can lean that all the way now and turn off our fuel pump, and we'll just verify that there are no pedestrians in the area. What you would do is you would open the door and shout clear prop to alert pedestrians, if there are any around, that you need to clear the propeller because you are about to start the engines. Now we can set our magnetos to the start position, but as you do that you need to increase the mixture so that the engine catches the fuel. And there we have a positive start, and we can set our throttle to around 1000 RPMs, the 10 position on this indicator. We can now bring the flaps up and turn on the avionics masters, and you'll see the GPS is now there, radio transponder and everything. We can now lean the mixture about a quarter, just so we don't waste all our fuel. We can now turn on our taxi lights, release the parking brake and begin our taxi. And after moving we'll do a brake check, and our brakes are working fine, so we can now go ahead and taxi to the runway. It's a very quick startup procedure for the Cessna in X-Plane. we don't need to worry about doing every single check, because I don't have failures turned on, and so we're not expecting any problems. But in the real world, you would check things a lot more thoroughly. But I'm just showing you guys how to basically start the Cessna, so you can just use it for general aviation, flying around wherever you like to go. Okay, so we have just made a stop here. We've set the parking brake. There we go. And we can now complete our before takeoff procedure. We'll check our altimeter is set to the correct QNH, which is 29902. And so we can set that now. Doors and windows are all closed. Our instruments are checked. We'll verify the airspeed is at 0 knots because we are stationary. Standby horizon looks fine. Our heading doesn't match what is on our GPS, so we can just set that now to around 061 degrees. There we go. Our vertical speed is at 0 feet per minute as we're not climbing. Our altitude also looks fine, and the turn coordinator also looks okay. Transponder we don't need to worry about as we're not flying with air traffic control, and so that's all fine. What we'll do now is we can check our flight controls. And you can see when we bank right, our ailerons move, and left as well. And we can also check that our elevator works, which it does, and so that's fine there. Once again, we'll verify that our fuel selector is set to both, which it is. Our fuel quantity we can check, and it is fine. We've almost got a full tank of fuel today. Trim we want to be in the takeoff position, so we want this line which indicates where our trim is to be in line with this arrow, which is where our takeoff trim is. Now we want to set our throttle to 1800 RPMs with the parking brake set, which is about there. And we want to set our magnetos to the left position as opposed to both. We're looking for about 1700 RPMs there, and we can set that to both. And we'll verify that increases to 1800, and we can now set the magnetos to right. Once again, look for 1700 RPMs and set that to both. Oh, almost went off there. And look for 1800 RPMs again. Landing lights we can turn on. We can also turn on our nav lights and strobe lights, and we can turn off the taxi lights. Bring our throttle down now. Release the parking brake, and we can imagine that we have takeoff clearance. And take off. Flaps are not required as the runway is fairly long. This airport is used for commercial flights as well, quite regularly, and so the runway is long enough to handle an Airbus A320 or a Boeing 737, and so it should be no problem for us. On takeoff, we'll just set our thrust to full. We don't need to worry about setting 50% and then waiting for the engines to stabilise, or engine, as you would do in a commercial aircraft, and we will rotate at around 60 to 65 knots. So we can set our thrust to full, and we'll have to use some right rudder to keep ourselves on the centre line, as we only have one engine. We'll be pushed off to the left of the runway, so we'll just use right rudder, and we can now rotate at 65 knots. We'll climb about 80 knots, and then we'll make our left turn onto the crosswind leg. Make sure we're flying a rough runway heading of 240 degrees. have ortho scenery installed for quite a lot of Scotland actually, and so we'll get some nice views up here. Okay, so we're now making our gradual turn onto our crosswind leg. We can now make another left turn onto our downward leg. So we'll be flying the parallel runway heading of 060 degrees, and we'll see the runway on our left. We always want the runway on our left hand side roughly. And if we look to the left hand side of the aircraft, you can see the runway and the airport on the left hand side. Keep pitching for around 80 knots. We can now make a turn onto our base leg. Reduce our thrust slightly. Pitch up, slow the airspeed. And we'll now make our turn onto final. We'll lower our first degree of flaps. We're going to trim down to counter that balloon effect that you get when you lower the flaps. You can see the runway is just off of our nose at about 11 o'clock. We're not completely aligned with the runway. Maybe I should have made the turn slightly later, but that's okay. We can just fly this heading for a bit and then make our turn. We'll make a slow and gradual turn onto the final. On the left hand side of the runway you can see the PAPI lights. PAPI stands for Precision Approach Path Indicators. And you can see there are 4 whites, or 3 whites and 1 red, so we are slightly too high for the approach, but that's okay, we'll just correct for that. We are now lined up with the runway. Falling slightly low on the PAPI, so just increase our thrust slightly. Remember, thrust is for altitude and pitch is for airspeed, not the other way around. A lot of people get confused with that. We'll now lower our next degree of flaps and trim down to counter the balloon effect. We want to aim for around 55 to 60 knots for landing. See, we're still not quite lined up with the runway, but we'll make our turn for that. Hopefully those 2 aircraft, or 1 aircraft, 1 helicopter, wait for us to land, otherwise we may need to initiate and go around. But X-plane default traffic is usually quite good at detecting the location of your aircraft. And we can lower our last degree of flaps now. The weather is updating, that's why the clouds just flashed on and off. there is a fighter jet on our left, which is slightly random. It's about 60 degrees. And to land the Cessna, what you need to do is basically put it into a forced stall near the stall warning, and then it's touchdown. It's a nice smooth landing. We can now bring our flaps up. See our stand is just up ahead. One thing I think was probably cut out of the video was me setting the mixture to full rich just before takeoff. That's one thing that you need to do to ensure that you get maximum thrust on takeoff. We can turn off our strobe lights. Go forward just a bit more, and we can make our final stop here. Set the parking brake and complete the engine shutdown procedure. So we'll verify the parking brake is set, which it is. Throttle we want at 900 RPMs. Avionics master can come off, so bus 1 and bus 2. Nav lights can come off now, landing lights, and we can also we can turn off the engines by leaning the mixture completely, and we'll set the magnetos to the off position. Master switches can come off now, and we can set the fuel selector to right. Okay guys, so that was just a quick tutorial on how to basically start the Cessna in quite a simple fashion, fly it in a traffic pattern, and land it and shut down the engine. These procedures are what you use in the real world, as well as some other security checks as well. But I didn't do those because I just want to show you how to start the aircraft quite simply. Make the tutorial easy so you can just fly it whenever you feel like it and get the aircraft in the sky very quickly. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something out of it. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more videos from us, and join our Discord so that you can ask us questions and interact with me and Matt behind the scenes of YouTube. Hope to see you in another video, and goodbye.